I see you're thinking about becoming an AWS cloud engineer. That's a great career goal to take on. In this video, I'm going to cover 5 things every, and I do mean every, AWS cloud engineer needs to know. Now, if you're new here, I'm Greg, creator of Thoughtful Techie Cloud. And if you haven't already, you need to subscribe right now. Each week, I create videos to help you easily navigate your AWS cloud and tech journey. And as you watch today's video and other videos on my channel, I want you to think of this as an interactive conversation. So anytime you hear me say something or you have questions, go ahead right then and there, continue listening to the video, but go ahead and drop your comments down below. I look at these comments and I do my best to give you a reply as quickly as I can. Now, before we just dive right in, it's very helpful for you to understand what is it that an AWS cloud engineer does. An AWS cloud engineer learns what it is their customer is trying to achieve. Then you work backwards from there to figure out what you need to build and engineer, leveraging cloud resources to make that business outcome a reality. And the 5 things I'm going to cover in this video are going to help put you on the path to be able to do that. Number 1, every AWS cloud engineer needs to know about infrastructure. Now, I know what you're about to say. Well, Greg, you just told me you were going to talk about 5 things. I'm lumping together 4 things into infrastructure is one topic because it's that important. Before you can build anything or be any kind of cloud engineer, you have to understand infrastructure. The 4 things under that umbrella are compute, database, network, and storage. Now let's back up to compute here real quick. You have an input, then you have something that needs to compute it, then you have an output, all right? Now compute typically is some sort of server, but it can be a container or it can be a serverless function in AWS. That would be something known as AWS Lambda. We also need to be able to store things. There's a couple ways we can store things. I'm going to cover storage. You're going to need to understand things like block storage, file storage, and object storage. These are the 3 main storage types in cloud. The third part of infrastructure you need to understand is database. Typically, you'll have some sort of application or application logic that interacts with the database. Could be NoSQL, SQL, graph, time series, you name it. You need to understand about databases because when you're cloud engineering those solutions for customers, rest assured, you're probably going to have to include a database in that architecture. And everything you build needs to be able to talk. And the way you do that is by understanding networking. You need to have a basic level understanding of the OSI model, IP addressing, subnets, software-defined firewalls, web application firewalls, content delivery networks, virtual private networks, just to name a few. Now, if I've covered something, again, that doesn't make any sense, go ahead and pop that question down below, and I'll make sure that I address your comment to give you some resources that you can go take a look at. Second thing every AWS cloud engineer needs to know is have a familiarity with Linux operating system. There's a ton of cloud architectures out there, and I've worked with a lot of them, and a bunch of them have Linux servers. You should spend time getting very comfortable with Linux, particularly at the command line interface. Learn how to navigate the command line, know how to do automation, write scripts, because this is going to help you out big time and help you to start building that muscle for getting comfortable operating at the command line and automation, and eventually to the third topic that I'm going to mention here next. The third thing every AWS cloud engineer needs to know is one programming language. I suggest Python, as I'm seeing this a whole bunch in my circle of the customers that I'm working with. Now, you don't necessarily need to become a software engineer, but understanding a programming language like Python is going to help you out a whole bunch. If you want to start building out some sort of automation or build a proof of concept or work with a generative AI coding companion. And keep in mind, as a cloud engineer, you're going to be working with a lot of developers. So you being able to write code and read code is going to enable you to have very relevant conversations with the development teams so you can best steer them in the right direction because you truly understand what it is they're trying to accomplish from a developer perspective. And I think you learning a programming language, especially after focusing on Linux, pairs well because in Linux, you focused a lot on command line interface and doing scripts. Now you can build on that in Python. The fourth thing every AWS cloud engineer needs to know, security. Understanding security and implementing security best practices across everything that you cloud engineer should be your #1 priority before anything else. Because if what you're building is not secure, that's like building a foundation on sand. Everything comes crumbling down. You need to understand how to secure everything from every level, whether it's application, whether it's the network, whether it's the architecture, whether it's the data in transit, data in rest, data into and data out of the cloud. You have to have a complete end-to-end knowledge of it all. As a cloud engineer, your customers are counting on you to help steer them in the right direction, especially when it comes to security. And the final and fifth thing that every AWS cloud engineer needs to know, and this might seem obvious, but just in case it doesn't, you need to understand AWS. As an AWS cloud engineer, if I were to make a recommendation, what is like the absolute baseline knowledge that you should have to be an effective AWS cloud engineer? Bare minimum is the AWS Solution Architect Associate certification. It's not so much that you have the cert. It's go take a look at that AWS Solution Architect Associate exam guide. Look at all the domains of information that are included. That's the level that you should be at as you cloud engineer solutions for your customers. Now, I know I've covered a bunch here, but the good news is now you get to assign homework to me. Of the things I talked about in this video, let me know in the comments below, what topics would you like to see me expand on as future videos? After you've jotted those down in the comments, make sure you go ahead and subscribe, like, and share this video, as it helps grow the channel and get the information out to those that need it. If you enjoyed this video, I'm betting you're going to enjoy this video as well. Looking forward to seeing you in the next video.